The courthouse hums like a tired fridge, fluorescent lights flickering above scuffed linoleum. Morning rain taps the tall windows. A line of people waits outside courtroom C, clutching papers like shields. Maya Lawson stands among them in a dark blazer, no makeup, hair pulled into a neat twist. She holds a plain manila envelope, its flap creased from being opened and closed a dozen times on the drive in. Inside, a letter with a seal pressed into thick paper. A small black badge wallet sits in her purse, button snapped, the leather soft from years of being carried but not flashed. "Everyone against the wall," barks a deputy, boots heavy, voice sharp enough to nick the air. Deputy Carter Hale, early 30s, square jaw. The stripes on his sleeve are clean. The eyes above them are tired and impatient. People shuffle. The rain ticks louder. Maya doesn't move to the wall. She's reading the posted docket, names typed in narrow font, looking for one in particular, a teen's hearing, 10 minutes from now. She glances at her watch. She wants to see how this small town handles small power. Deputy Hale clocks her stillness. "Ma'am," he says, "instructions are for all." "I'm just checking the docket," she replies, calm, clear. "I'll be done in a moment." He steps closer. The smell of coffee rides with him. His badge catches the fluorescent light and throws a thin flash across the wall. "I said against the wall. No exceptions." Maya slides the envelope under her arm. "I'm here on business." "What business?" His tone is not a question. The court clerk behind the glass stiffens. Two people in line exchange a look. Somewhere a phone starts recording. The rain keeps ticking. Maya folds her hands. "I'll show you my identification." Hands where I can see them. His palm hovers near his holster, a practiced gesture that makes the room smaller. "My ID is in my purse," she says. "May I reach?" "This is a courthouse, not a cafe," he snaps. "Move now." Maya's eyes don't blink. "Deputy Hale, correct? I'll comply. I'm simply telling you that I'm reaching for—" "Don't say my name." The words cut in. You follow commands. For half a beat, everyone breathes together. The ceiling vent hums louder. Just a hum, but it feels like pressure. A young mother whispers to her child to stay close. The clerk's hand hovers over a call button under the glass. Maya loosens her shoulders. Slow, deliberate. "I'm reaching into my purse now," she says, voice steady as an oath. "To retrieve my ID." Her hand dips. Leather scrapes. Hale's boots close the last inches of tile. "Stop." She pauses, palm open above the purse. "Deputy, please, He grabs her wrist. The envelope slips, thudding against the floor. A corner opens, flashing a circle of embossed gold before it skids under a bench. "Sir," Maya says, not raising her voice, "you're making a—" The sound cracks the corridor. Not loud, not cinematic. Just a hard human palm against skin. A single gasp fires through the line like a fuse. Maya's head turns with the impact. She doesn't stumble. She doesn't argue. Her eyes close once, then open. A measured inhale. A steady exhale. A hush falls. Even the rain feels like it's listening. Something small arcs out of her purse and lands with a soft click at Hale's boots. A black leather wallet, snapped open by the fall. Inside, the gold star catches a cruel slice of fluorescent light. The lettering is precise, unforgiving. Chief of Police, Maya Lawson. 3 people see it. The clerk, the mother with the child, the teen with the phone. Hale doesn't look down. He clamps her wrist harder, breathing quick, authority braced like a shield. "Hands behind your back," he says. "Deputy Hale," Maya answers, voice low. "You're out of line." He snorts, not meeting her eyes. "You can file a complaint after arraignment." The teen with the phone inches sideways for a better angle. The clerk pushes the call button. Somewhere inside the courtroom, a gavel taps once, then again as if sensing a storm at the door. Maya glances at the open badge wallet at his feet. She could point. She could name it. Instead, her gaze lifts, steady and patient, to meet his. This is your last clear moment, she says, soft enough that only the nearest can hear. Choose carefully. Hale's jaw sets. He reaches for his cuffs. The badge glints again, bright as a lighthouse, and nobody knows whether he can see it or whether he will. Enjoying this? Tap subscribe for tomorrow's story. The cuffs bite colder than the rain. Maya doesn't resist. She lets the steel circle her wrists, lets the moment stretch. The leather wallet with her badge lies open like a small mouth on the floor. No one picks it up. A second deputy jogs over, thinner, nervous. Hale, what's interference? Hale barks. Non-compliance. Maya's voice is quiet. My ID, deputy. Please retrieve it. Hale nudges the wallet with his boot, not looking down. You'll show it to booking. Through the glass, the clerk's eyes widen. She lifts a phone to her ear. Judge? We have something. The courtroom doors click. The hum of the vent thickens. The rain threads down the tall window and streaks the light. Walk, Hale orders. Maya breathes once, twice, like she teaches rookies to do under stress. Then she walks, chin level, cuffs clinking in an unhurried rhythm. The teen with the phone shadows them at a careful distance. The little boy with the mother whispers, Mama, and the mother shushes him with a hand on his head. They pass the magnetometers. The deputy at the scanner looks from Maya's face to the cuffed hands and doesn't know where to rest his eyes. Beyond the checkpoint, a wood-paneled hall leads to courtroom C. The door swings open before they reach it. Judge Ellery Pike steps out, robe half-zipped, reading glasses in his hand. Late 50s, gray hair that still remembers black. He scans the scene in one sweep. Deputy cuffs woman phone and stops on Maya's face as if recognizing a photograph from a brief. Deputy Hale, he says, voice dry as paper. Explain. She refused lawful commands, Your Honor. What commands? Against the wall. Hands visible. She reached. Judge Pike's gaze drops to the cuffs, then to the black wallet on the floor behind them. The clerk hustles over and whispers a string of words into his ear. He listens, then stands very still. Deputy, the judge says, each syllable deliberate. Remove the restraints now. Hale's jaw shifts. Your Honor, with respect, now. Silence presses down like another ceiling. The second deputy, the nervous one, takes a small step forward. Carter, just do it. Hale's keys jingle. The cuffs release with a sting and fall into his palm. Maya rubs her wrist once and does not look at him. Ms. Lawson, Judge Pike says, correcting himself mid-breath. Chief Lawson, my office notified the sheriff this morning. Maya inclines her head. Good morning, Judge. A ripple moves through the hall like wind across tall grass. Chief. The word lands, light but heavy, and people shift to see the badge they didn't see a minute ago. Hale's eyes flick down at last to the open wallet on the tile. He frowns as if confronted with a puzzle that cannot be solved by force. Color rises in his neck. The city announced. He asks, to no one and everyone. City Hall at noon, the clerk says without looking up. Swearing in. Maya bends, picks up the wallet, snaps it closed. She lifts the manila envelope from under the bench. Rainwater has stained one corner a deeper brown. She offers it to the judge. The mayor's letter. The commission signed 2 days ago. Judge Pike takes it with fingertips. He nods once. Deputy Hale, this is the incoming chief of police for Briar Creek. City chief, Hale says, as if the word city is a fence he can lean on. This is the county courthouse, which is where your authority is tested, the judge replies, mild as a winter sun. He turns to Maya. Chief Lawson, I regret the welcome. Maya's face does not move. Thank you, Your Honor. The teen with the phone edges closer. Chief Lawson, he says, breathless. I got the whole, mostly, I was recording. Maya looks at him. He's 16, maybe. Denim jacket, hair that won't lie flat. The phone trembles a little in his hand. What's your name? She asks. Evan, he says. Evan Ross. Evan Ross, she repeats so he will remember being seen. Hold on to that video. Don't post right now. We'll ask for a copy, Hale scoffs. You don't control evidence here. Maya turns to him. Deputy Hale, neither do you, alone. There's a process. He squares his shoulders, words coming faster than thought. You interfered with security screening. You ignored commands. You resisted. Judge Pike lifts a palm. I didn't see resistance. Hale's stare cuts to the bench line as if searching for allies in wood. You weren't out here when I heard enough, the judge says. We'll not litigate the hallway. If there's a report, it will be written. If there's an investigation, it will be proper. The second deputy breathes out like a tire losing air. He looks at Maya. Chief, I'm Deputy Sam Keaton. First week on courthouse detail. Maya nods. Welcome to service, Deputy Keaton. Hale keeps talking, but his voice has lost a fraction of volume, a layer of conviction. Protocol is protocol. Maya lifts the cuff marks on her wrist into the light. 2 small crescent shadows. Not drama, just fact. Protocol did not require a strike. The line of waiting citizens has turned into an audience held by the gravity of titles colliding. The mother shifts her boy to the other hip and whispers, "That's the new chief." And the boy's eyes widen like a story just grew true. Judge Pike tugs his robe into place. Chief Lawson, may I ask why you're here before noon? Maya glances at the docket on the wall, its narrow font still neat in its frame. A juvenile hearing at 9:15, she says. A boy named Luis Palma. I wanted to see how we handle kids who make small mistakes. The judge's eyes soften by a degree. We try to handle them with care. That's why I came, Maya says. To start as I mean to go on. Hale shifts his weight, the soles of his boots creaking. With respect, Your Honor, none of this changes the fact that it changes. The judge interrupts, gentle but steel-wrapped, that you struck a citizen without cause. The word struck hangs like a bell note. The teen's phone reflects a thin glare from the fluorescent lights. The vent hum fills the spaces between words. Step into chambers, Judge Pike tells them. All of you. Deputy Keaton, you too. Clerk, bring a complaint form. Mr. Ross, please wait in the hall with the bailiff. The door to courtroom C swings inward. Rows of wooden benches, a flag in the corner, the gavel resting on its block. The air is warmer here. The rain's tap dims behind the thick door. They gather before the judge's bench. Maya places the envelope on the clerk's desk. Hale stands rigid, hands clasped behind his back in a stance meant to look controlled. Chief Lawson, Judge Pike says, do you wish to file a formal complaint now, or wait for the sheriff to join us? Maya considers. The choice is a message, hit back fast or build a record. She pictures her first staff meeting at 2 o'clock, the mayor's shaky promise that the old way is over, the whisper she heard at a diner last night, they'll test you fast. She hears the metallic echo of the slap again, more memory than pain. I will file now, she says, and I will request body cam footage, hallway cameras, and statements. Hale exhales through his nose. Courthouse cameras are county property, and the county will provide them, a new voice says from the doorway. Sheriff Tom Riker steps in, hat under his arm, face set like stone that's learned to smile 30% of the time. 60-ish thick hands, a reputation for keeping his house quiet. He looks at Maya with the weary calculation of a man who's been in too many rooms like this. Then his eyes slide to Hale and narrow by a shade. Your phone buzzed? Judge Pike asks. The clerk called, the sheriff answers. Then my switchboard lit up. He gestures toward the door with his hat. There are already folks in the hall. This building carries whispers faster than rain. He stops at the rail, looks from Maya's wrist to Hale's empty hands. Deputy Hale, report. Hale's version comes out clipped, scrubbed, missing the sharp parts. Words like compliance and officer safety appear like sandbags lined up in a flood. When he finishes, the sheriff nods. Chief, the sheriff says, turning to Maya at last. Welcome to Briar Creek. Thank you, Sheriff. He doesn't smile. Not the morning either of us ordered. He lays his hat on the rail, brim up. We'll handle it. Maya nods toward Evan through the glass panel in the door, where the teen's silhouette flickers with his moving phone. There's video, she says. There are witnesses. The sheriff's gaze hardens. Then we won't pretend there's not. Judge Pike folds his glasses. Shall we begin the paperwork? He asks, to no one in particular and everyone at once. Maya's pulse slows a notch. The cuffs are gone. The rain keeps time. The badge in her pocket is heavy in a way that feels exactly right. She looks at Hale, steady and unblinking, and knows this is not the end of anything, only the first page. Outside the chamber door, voices rise. Another sound threads into the hum of the vent and the patter of the rain. The muted buzz of a notification on a phone. Then another, like quickening heartbeats. Evan Ross, against the bailiff's quiet advice, has just hit send to cloud. By noon, the courthouse feels smaller. The rain has stopped, leaving the air thick and echoing. Every surface, marble floors, brass railings, even the old oak bench, seems to hum with a rumor. In the clerk's office, Maya Lawson stands at a narrow counter, filling out the incident form. Her handwriting is firm, straight lines and clear strokes. Sheriff Riker sits nearby, hat on the desk, tapping a pen against his knee. Outside the frosted glass door, a low murmur drifts, reporters, citizens, courthouse staff pretending to pass through the hallway just to look. The sheriff clears his throat. "You're handling this cool, Chief. Cooler than I would have after a morning like that." Maya keeps writing. "I'm not here to prove temper, Sheriff. I'm here to prove standards." He studies her for a moment. Briar Creek's not Atlanta. Folks here hold grudges longer than they hold breath. Hale's got cousins in half the departments from here to Clay County. "I'm aware," she says softly. "That's why I'm documenting everything." The clerk glances up nervously. "Chief Lawson, will you want a copy for the city file too?" "Yes, please. One for City Hall, one for Internal Affairs, and one for my office." The sheriff whistles low. "You move fast. I move fair," she corrects. Fast is just the only way fairness gets remembered. The door creaks open. Deputy Sam Keaton pokes his head in. "Chief, there's people outside." Maya looks up. "Reporters?" "Some, and a few locals. They've got phones up." He hesitates. "That video, it's online now," Riker mutters under his breath. "Knew it." Maya sets her pen down. "Show me." Sam holds up his phone. The shaky footage fills the screen. The hallway, the glare of the lights, the moment Hale's hand flashes forward. No sound at first, just the slap, sharp as a gavel. Then gasps. Hale's voice follows, harsh and commanding. Then Maya's, measured, calm, steady. "You're out of line." The badge on the floor, the glint of gold. The video ends at the instant Judge Pike appears. Maya exhales slowly. "Where was it posted?" "Local net news," Sam says, "and shared on the town Facebook groups. Over 3,000 views in an hour." Riker grunts. "So much for quiet handling." Maya picks up her purse and stands. "Then we'll handle it publicly, properly." In the corridor, the small crowd parts. Some faces are curious, some sympathetic, others tight with suspicion. Hale stands near the water fountain, back against the wall, phone pressed to his ear. He lowers it when he sees her. "Chief," he says, voice edged with disbelief. "You could have taken this up inside. Now it's gone viral." Maya stops 3 feet from him. The silence stretches. "You made it public," she says. "I'm just making it right." "You don't belong here," he snaps. "You come in from the city, 2 days on the job, and suddenly you're above everyone." She tilts her head slightly. "No, Deputy. I'm responsible for everyone, including you." The sheriff steps between them. "Enough, both of you. We'll take statements this afternoon." Hale looks at Riker. "Sheriff, you saw what she did, making me look like—" Riker's tone cuts him off. "What you did made you look like that." For the first time, Hale's mouth shuts. His eyes flicker. Not guilt, not yet, but uncertainty. Maya turns away toward the reporters who have begun gathering near the front doors. She recognizes one face, Dana Boyd, a local journalist with an old-fashioned notepad and a wary respect for the truth. "Chief Lawson," Dana calls. "Are you confirming that the video is real?" "Yes," Maya says. "And that an investigation is already in motion. Do you plan to suspend the deputy?" Maya meets her gaze. "I plan to do what the evidence supports. No more, no less." Another voice calls out. "Are you pressing charges?" "Internal first," Maya replies. "Justice isn't a sprint." Dana lowers her pen. "Some will say you're protecting your department. And some will say I'm punishing it," Maya says evenly. "They can both be wrong." The sheriff appears at her shoulder. "Chief, you might want to—" But she's already stepping closer to the microphones, her tone calm, deliberate. "Briar Creek deserves a department it can trust. That starts today. I'll meet with community leaders tonight to review next steps. Transparency begins here." The cameras click. The courthouse doors swing open behind her as if cued by fate. Hale watches from the corner, face pale, jaw clenched. Hours later, in the dim municipal office that will soon bear her name, Maya sits alone. The desk still smells faintly of polish and old paper. She reviews Hale's personnel file. Commendations, minor reprimands, an old complaint quietly closed 5 years back. "Patterns," she murmurs. "Always patterns." The rain starts again outside, softer this time. Her phone buzzes. It's a message from an unknown number. "A single line, you won't last here." He's one of theirs. She stares at it for a moment, then deletes it without reply. In the reflection of the window, her own eyes look back at her, calm, steady, and entirely awake. Tomorrow's briefing will be harder, but tonight she knows something powerful has begun. Not revenge. Not outrage, reform. By sunrise the next morning, Briar Creek is buzzing like a hive. The courthouse incident, less than 24 hours old, has already fractured the town along invisible lines. Those who saw justice beginning, and those who saw order unraveling. Inside the precinct, Maya Lawson watches the morning news on a mounted TV. The anchor's polite tones can't soften the footage. The slap the badge, the silence. Deputy Hale's face flashes beside hers in split screen. The Chiron reads, "Courthouse clash raises questions about police conduct." Maya turns off the screen. "Ma'am?" Deputy Keaton stands in the doorway, his uniform freshly pressed. The sheriff's waiting in the conference room. She nods. "Thank you, Deputy. The walk down the hall is quiet." Officers glance up as she passes. Some nod respectfully. Others look away. A few whisper after she's gone by. In the conference room, Sheriff Riker stands at the window, arms folded, hat on the sill. Hale sits at the table, posture rigid, jaw tight. A lawyer in a gray suit sits beside him, expression unreadable. Riker turns. "Chief, we're here to take your statement for the internal review." "Of course." Hale doesn't meet her eyes. His lawyer clears his throat. "My client maintains he followed protocol under perceived threat." Maya's voice is calm. "What threat was perceived?" Hale answers before the lawyer can stop him. "You were reaching into your bag. You ignored verbal commands. You ordered me to the wall without reason," Maya replies evenly. "I identified myself. You chose not to listen." Riker holds up a hand. "Let's keep this formal. Chief, you'll each have your say for the record." He presses the recorder's red button. The tiny light glows. Maya sits, folds her hands on the table, and begins. "At approximately 8:55 a.m., I was in the courthouse hallway reviewing the docket. Deputy Hale instructed all citizens to stand against the wall. I remained momentarily to confirm a hearing time. He issued repeated commands, escalating without cause. When I attempted to retrieve my identification, he used unnecessary force." Hale exhales sharply through his nose, muttering, "You make it sound rehearsed." She meets his eyes. "Because it happened exactly as stated." Riker clears his throat again. "We'll verify with footage." "Footage?" Maya asks. The sheriff hesitates. "There's a complication. The courthouse hallway cameras were down that morning. Maintenance reports say system failure." Maya narrows her eyes. "Convenient timing?" "Agreed," says Riker. "But the phone video holds weight. Public perception's already there." Hale's lawyer leans forward. "Then public perception's your problem, not policy. A phone angle isn't the whole story." Maya leans in, steady. "The whole story is what you did when you thought no one important was watching." Hale's face tightens. "You're twisting this into politics." "It's conduct," she says. "Nothing more." Riker stops them both with a raised hand. "Enough, the commission meets Friday. They'll decide suspension pending findings. Until then, both of you stay professional." Maya nods. "I always do." That afternoon, she walks the town square alone. The storefronts are tidy, flags faded from years of sun. A bakery worker pauses at the window to wave hesitantly. Across the street, a man in a feed store cap mutters something under his breath. She keeps walking. A small crowd has gathered by the fountain, community leaders, clergy, residents. Dana Boyd, the reporter, steps forward with her notepad.
"Chief Lawson, you called this meeting?"
"Yes, I want transparency. We'll discuss police conduct standards and the steps ahead." A woman in a floral blouse raises her hand. "We've seen things swept away before, Chief. Why should we believe this will be different?" Maya takes a breath. "Because it's on record in writing and in the open. And because leadership isn't about comfort, it's about accountability." A man in uniform, retired officer, silver badge pin on his lapel, steps forward. "Accountability goes both ways. You humiliated a deputy in front of half the county." Maya meets his gaze. "He humiliated the badge he wore. I simply named it." The crowd murmurs, split in half again. Dana scribbles notes, watching Maya's face. "You're taking a risk confronting this head on." "Silence costs more," Maya says softly. "Always has." Back at her office that evening, the phone rings. "Chief Lawson," says the voice on the other end. "This is Councilman Porter. Off the record, There's pressure to resolve this quickly. Quietly. Drop the internal review, issue a joint statement. Quiet helps who exactly? She asks. The town, he says, though his tone betrays him. The donors. The stability. Maya looks out the window. The rain has stopped again, leaving streaks on the glass. Stability without truth is a lie, councilman. I'm not interested in lies, he exhales. You'll make enemies fast. I already have, she says. Now I'll make standards. She hangs up. The clock ticks toward 8 p.m. Outside, the courthouse glows faintly under street lamps. In her mind, the echo of that single slap still hangs, not as pain now, but as purpose. She opens her laptop and begins drafting a statement to her department. Effective immediately, all courthouse and precinct security officers will undergo mandatory bias and de-escalation review. Cameras will be audited weekly. Conduct will define rank, not habit. As she types, a new email pings. Subject: anonymous tip, a courthouse footage inside a single sentence. Check the archive server. Someone hid the video before deleting it. A location follows. Evidence room 3A. Maya stares at it, heart steady but sharp. She grabs her badge, slides it into her jacket pocket, and stands. The old building hums quietly as she walks the corridor alone. The story isn't over. It's about to turn. The precinct's hallways are dark at night, lit only by the soft green hum of exit signs. Outside, the rain has stopped again, leaving a damp silence that seeps through the cracked windows. Chief Maya Lawson moves quietly down the corridor, the soles of her shoes whispering against the linoleum. Her keycard beeps faintly as she unlocks the heavy door marked Evidence Room 3A. Inside, the air is colder. Metal shelving, faint ozone from old servers, the smell of dust and solder. Rows of labeled drives blink their slow electronic heartbeat. She crosses to the far wall, where a small workstation hums under a flickering fluorescent light. The anonymous message had been precise. Check the archive server. Maya inserts her admin key. The terminal wakes with a sluggish sigh. Lines of code scroll. She finds a folder buried 2 levels deep. Security backups, temp 0805 internal. There, a single file. Timestamp the morning of the courthouse incident. Dame Holcomb C3 raw move, she clicks. The grainy video opens, wide angle, silent. It shows the hallway moments before the confrontation. Hale entering. The crowd lining up. Maya reading the docket. Hale stepping closer. She leans forward, watching his face. Watching the way his hand moves before she even reaches for her purse. The slap lands, a brutal punctuation, and the file keeps rolling. Several seconds longer than the public clip, and in those seconds, something else appears. A man in plain clothes, security lanyard around his neck, steps out from the far corner. He bends, picks up the fallen badge wallet, sees the inscription, and tucks it into his own pocket before vanishing into a side hallway. Maya freezes. That part never made it online. Whoever leaked the video cut that segment out, which means the truth was edited. Someone wanted to show the outrage, but not the theft. Her phone buzzes. Unknown number. You're in the evidence room. She looks around the dim aisles. Who is this? The same person who warned you. You need to see what else is missing. The line clicks dead. She scrolls back through the drive. More folders, dates. One jumps out. Internal audit Hale closed. Access denied. Maya exhales through her nose, steady. She reaches into her jacket for the admin override token. It blinks once and grants entry. Inside the folder, reports from 5 years back. Excessive force complaints, all marked unsubstantiated. Then a note at the bottom. Records closed by order of Sheriff Riker. Maya sits very still. She replays the hallway footage in her mind. Riker arriving minutes after the incident. Too calm, too controlled. The words he'd used. We'll handle it. Handle, not investigate. Her computer beeps, a file transfer request. Someone is copying the video remotely. She yanks the cable, cutting the connection, then the door opens behind her. Maya? Riker's voice low, gravelly, she turns. He stands in the doorway, hat in hand, coat still damp from outside. Late night for a first week, he says. I could say the same, she replies. He looks at the dark monitor, the unplugged cable. You found something. She studies him carefully. You already know what's here, don't you? Riker sighs, steps inside, closing the door with a soft click. That file should have been deleted years ago. Some things don't help anyone to resurface. They help the truth, Maya says. Truth's a funny thing in a small town, Riker murmurs. Sometimes it breaks more than it fixes. Or fixes what's already broken, she counters. He sets his hat on a shelf. You don't understand Briar Creek yet. Hale's daddy was my partner 20 years ago. Half this county thinks of that boy like kin. You push too hard, you'll tear this place apart. Maya folds her arms. Then maybe it needs tearing. Riker's gaze hardens. Careful, Chief. The mayor may have signed your commission, but these men answer to me. She steps closer, voice quiet but ironclad. No, Sheriff. They answer to the law, and starting tomorrow, that includes you. He studies her. Long, tired seconds of silence. Then he nods slowly, a shadow of regret flickering through his eyes. You really don't scare easy. I didn't come here to be liked, he exhales. Then I hope you came ready for what happens next. Riker turns and walks out, leaving the door open. Maya looks back at the screen. The evidence sits there. Proof of the strike, proof of a cover-up, and maybe the start of a reckoning bigger than one deputy. She copies the file to a flash drive and locks it in her pocket. Tomorrow morning, she'll show the town what was hidden, but she doesn't see the small red light on the server restart itself after she leaves. A new process runs silently. Delete pending one file, and the truth she's carrying may soon be the only copy left. Morning light slants through the courthouse windows like a verdict. Briar Creek wakes to headlines, louder, sharper, more divided than before. Local police chief claims evidence cover-up. County sheriff under scrutiny. The front page of the Briar Creek Gazette carries a still image. Maya Lawson standing before reporters, badge gleaming, eyes calm. A town of 5,000 suddenly feels like a courtroom with no walls. At City Hall, the council chamber is packed. Reporters fill the aisles. Citizens line the back. The sound of whispered opinions rustles like dry leaves. Mayor Clifton adjusts his tie nervously. Chief Lawson, he says into the microphone, you asked for this public session. You may proceed. Maya steps to the podium. The flash drive in her pocket feels like an ember. She plugs it into the laptop connected to the overhead screen. Ladies and gentlemen, she begins, what you're about to see is the unedited courthouse footage from August 5th. It was stored improperly and nearly erased. But it exists. The projector hums. The screen flickers alive. The video rolls. The wide-angle view of the hallway, the slap, the shock, the stillness. Gasps ripple through the crowd, though most have already seen the viral clip. Then comes the new part. The man in the plain clothes slipping the badge wallet into his pocket. The timestamp. The side door he disappears through. Maya stops the playback. This portion was removed before the video reached the public. The system logs show attempted deletion late last night. Whoever edited this sought to control the story. The mayor leans forward. Chief, are you implying tampering within law enforcement? I'm stating it, Maya says. The evidence room records show manual access from an administrative account belonging to Sheriff Riker's office. The room stirs. Reporters scribble furiously. A voice in the audience whispers, she's naming him. The mayor glances toward the back where Riker stands, hat in his hands. His face is stone. Riker steps forward. You're making this political, Chief. No, Maya replies. You did when you decided who got to see the truth. He shakes his head slowly. You don't know what alliances you're breaking here. Then let them break, she says. I answer to the badge, not the comfort it brings. After the meeting, chaos spills into the hallway. Reporters cluster. Citizens argue in tight circles. Deputy Keaton approaches Maya, eyes wide. Chief, you'd better come to the precinct. The state investigators just arrived. Internal affairs from Raleigh. Maya nods once. Let them in. No delays, no red tape. Inside the precinct, she meets Special Investigator Diana Cho, a compact woman with clear eyes and a steady hand. Chief Lawson, Cho greets her. We've reviewed your statement and the file you submitted. You understand this inquiry could suspend both you and the sheriff pending findings? Maya doesn't blink. Yes, that's the point. Cho studies her, then nods. Good, because the first thing we found was unusual access to your account. Someone tried to delete your login record around 2 a.m. Maya exhales. They're trying to erase the eraser. Exactly, says Cho. We've secured the servers and subpoenaed backup logs. You'll need to stay available for questioning. I'll cooperate fully, Maya replies. But the public needs assurance. I'll issue a press statement at noon. Cho's expression softened slightly. You're either fearless or tired of fear. Both, says Maya. At noon, under a gray sky, Maya stands on the courthouse steps again. A microphone trembles in the wind. Transparency, she says, is not a threat. It's a promise. This department will not serve fear, favor, or familiarity. We will serve fact. She lifts her eyes to the crowd. Dozens of townspeople, faces mixed with anger, relief, confusion. Yesterday was one man's mistake, she continues. Today is a systems test, and tomorrow will be our choice. For a moment, no one speaks. Then the quiet begins to change. One clap, then another, hesitant but real. Across the street, Hale watches from his truck. The engine idles. His hand rests on the steering wheel. His world is smaller now, suspended under review. Reputation crumbling in slow motion. He looks at her standing there, framed by the courthouse pillars, and something like regret flickers in his eyes before the engine growls and he drives away. That evening, in her office, Maya reviews the first draft of the internal reforms. Body camera checks, civilian oversight retraining programs. Each line feels heavier than the last, but also truer. Deputy Keaton knocks softly. Chief, the sheriff resigned. Turned in his badge an hour ago. Maya sets her pen down. Did he say why? He just said, it's her town now. She leans back, looking out at the fading light over Briar Creek. No, she says quietly. It's theirs. Later, alone, she pulls the flash drive from her desk drawer. The one copy of the full video still exists. She could delete it now, the case is closed, the resignation's filed. But she doesn't. She locks it in a small safe instead. A reminder. Truth must be kept, not trusted. Outside, the courthouse clock chimes 6 times. A faint breeze carries the scent of rain and magnolia. The air feels lighter, not because the storm is over, but because it's finally clean. 3 weeks later, Briar Creek feels different. The courthouse steps are quieter now. No cameras, no shouting, no lines of reporters hoping for quotes. The town exhales, still wary, but lighter somehow. Inside the police department, the walls smell faintly of new paint. A fresh plaque near the entrance reads, "Integrity is the first response." Chief Maya Lawson stands in the operations room as officers file in for morning briefing. Their uniforms are crisp, their expressions uncertain but listening. She can sense it, the fragile trust forming in the silence between breaths. Before we begin, she says, I want to thank every one of you who stayed when it got hard. Change isn't punishment, it's proof we're learning. Deputy Keaton, now wearing a temporary sergeant stripe, nods. We learned a lot, Chief. More than we thought we needed to. Maya offers a faint smile. That's how growth works. Quiet, uncomfortable, necessary. She turns to the new recruits at the back. Young faces, nervous eyes. You've heard stories about what happened here last month. Some of it's rumor, some of it's truth. What matters is what we do next. Every badge in this room represents a promise, not a privilege. No one speaks, but the air carries the weight of understanding. Let's start fresh, Maya says. Let's do it right. After the meeting, she walks through the station. The bulletin board near the entrance displays upcoming training schedules, de-escalation workshop, community liaison roundtable, bias awareness seminar. In the corner, a citizen feedback box stands under a new sign. Your voice matters. As she passes, an elderly man in a worn cap steps through the door. Chief Lawson? She stops. Yes, sir. He holds out a folded note. I was in the courthouse that day. Didn't say nothing then. Just wanted to tell you now. It mattered what you did. The way you didn't yell, didn't fight back. Folks saw that. Changed how some of us think. Maya takes the note gently. Thank you. It means more than you know. He nods once and shuffles out. The door closing softly behind him. Inside the note, written in shaky pen. Dignity don't make noise, but people hear it anyway. She folds it back and slips it into her pocket. That afternoon, she drives out past the courthouse to the edge of town. A small community center now occupies the lot where the old auxiliary office once stood. Her initiative, funded by both city and county after the reform hearings. Inside, children are painting a mural, bright colors, hands of every shade. One of them, Evan Ross, the teen who filmed the original video, spots her. Chief Lawson. He calls, "We saved you a brush." She laughs softly. You're the one with the steady hands, Evan. He grins. Not steady. Just honest. She kneels beside him, adding a thin streak of blue across the wall. That's all honesty needs to be, she says. A line that doesn't hide. Later, as evening settles, Maya stops by the courthouse one last time. The rain has returned, gentle, cleansing. She stands in the same hallway where it all began. The lights hum. The air smells of wet stone and paper. In the reflection of the glass, she sees both the woman who was slapped and the one who stayed standing. The difference between them is not rank, it's resolve. From her purse, she pulls out the small badge wallet. The leather has been repaired where it once hit the floor. She opens it, traces the gold star with her thumb, then closes it again. A familiar voice echoes softly behind her. Evening, Chief, she turns. It's Dana Boyd, the reporter. Didn't think you'd still be working this late, Dana says. Just making sure the building remembers. Dana smiles faintly. We ran a follow-up piece. Community approval for the department's up 20%. People are calling it the Briar Creek turnaround. Maya shakes her head. It's not about approval. It's about alignment. Dana studies her. Most people would have left after the storm. Most storms, Maya says, looking up at the skylight. Wash away what needed to go. The reporter nods, scribbles one last line in her notebook, and slips out. Maya lingers a moment longer listening to the rain. Then she turns off the hallway light, leaving only the soft glow from the windows. Her reflection fades, but her outline remains solid, quiet, steady. Tomorrow will bring another case, another call, another test. But tonight, justice feels less like a fight and more like a promise kept. 6 months later, winter sunlight settles over Briar Creek like a memory, cold, clean, unhurried. The courthouse stands taller now, not because the building changed, but because people walk through its doors without lowering their eyes. A new mural covers the once blank hallway wall, 2 hands clasping beneath the words, "Serve with honor." The town school children painted it under Chief Maya Lawson's direction. The color hasn't faded. If anything, it glows brighter in the winter light. Maya pauses before it on her way to the morning's hearing. She's dressed in her uniform today, not the plain blazer she wore her first morning here. The silver pin on her lapel catches the light, steady, earned. Deputy Keaton, now full sergeant, joins her. Didn't think this wall could ever feel peaceful again, he says quietly. It remembers what happened, she replies. That's peace enough, he smiles. We've come a long way, Chief. She glances toward the benches. We're not done yet, but we're walking the right way. In the courtroom, the first community oversight board meeting is in session. Local citizens sit beside officers, equal chairs, equal voices. A mother whose son was once arrested unfairly, a retired deputy who served under Riker, a teacher, a nurse, a pastor. Maya stands at the podium. This board is not here to blame, she says. It's here to prevent. Every policy we build will come from both sides of this table. Applause rises softly, not from excitement, but from understanding. At the back, Dana Boyd from the Gazette takes notes. Her next headline will read, Small Town, Big Change, Briar Creek Rebuilds Trust from the Inside Out. Outside, snow begins to fall, thin, slow flakes drifting across Main Street. The old sheriff's office sign has been replaced with a plaque that reads, Briar Creek Community Justice Center. Children chase the flakes, laughing, unbothered by the past. Across the street, Evan Ross films on his phone again, but this time, it's for a school project titled, Leaders Who Listen. He waves when he sees Maya step out of the courthouse. You still recording everything, Evan? She calls with a smile. He grins. Someone's got to keep folks honest, Chief. Then you're hired, she says. Later that evening, the town holds its winter fair on the courthouse lawn. Strings of lights crisscross the square. Laughter drifts with the smell of hot cocoa. Maya walks among the crowd, nodding to people she once knew only as headlines and case files. Now they stop her to talk, to thank, to share. She spots Hale, former deputy, plain jacket, hands in his pockets, standing near the edge of the crowd. He looks older, quieter. He hesitates before stepping toward her. Chief Lawson, she inclines her head. Mr. Hale, I came to apologize, he says. Not for the cameras. For the day itself. I was wrong. She studies his face, sees the effort it takes to say those words. Thank you, she says gently. I hope you find better work. Better peace, he nods, trying both. Then he turns and disappears into the fair lights, a man walking out of his own shadow. At home later that night, Maya sits by the window with a mug of tea. The town glows outside, lights reflecting off a thin blanket of snow. On her desk sits the repaired badge wallet, the flash drive beside it and the handwritten note from the old man. Dignity don't make noise, but people hear it anyway. She picks it up, smiling faintly, and whispers, "They do." The wind sighs against the glass. The courthouse clock strikes 9. Maya closes her eyes for a moment, listening, not for silence, but for balance. Somewhere downtown, a siren wails once, clear and brief, then fades, not a warning anymore. Just a call answered. End. Thanks for watching.